Listen, family, have y'all heard what's going on? So apparently Donald Trump is bringing back segregation, starting with the federal contractors. This is where it starts. Seems like it's stepping stones, just stepping stones. Then it's gonna be a ripple effect. It could be, right? I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it could happen. Family, you already know what to do. And if you're brand new too, thumbs up this video so YouTube can push this content out. Smash subscribe to join the tribe and ring the post notification bell as well. All right, let's get into it.
Did you know Trump just legalized segregation again? Let me repeat that. Federal contractors can now ban black folks from bathrooms, restaurants, and jobs using your tax dollars. This isn't a history reboot. It's Project 2025's MAGA playbook deleting civil rights. But here's their fatal flaw. Black America controls $1.6 trillion in spending power. We buy Jordans, iPhones, SUVs, yet fund businesses cozy with this Jim Crow 2.0. Target lost $15 billion fighting LGBTQ plus hate. Imagine draining every dime from these segregation enablers.
Okay, breaking news, wake it up, because I don't see enough people talking about this. Trump has lifted the segregation ban, y'all. That means that segregation is now legal. Hello, segregation ban law has been lifted by Trump.
Did Donald Trump just sign an executive order to bring back segregation? Baby, let me tell y'all something. We are our ancestors' wildest dream, first of all. Second of all, it's not going to work because we ain't our ancestors. Thirdly, we got money. So, white people, y'all can let this man fool y'all if y'all want to. Understand, we ain't at war with each other. We at war with Donald Trump. Y'all can mess up and find out. I'm telling y'all can mess up and find out that our money is green. And if y'all play with us, we ain't spending our money with y'all. And your business will be affected. I don't care. Baby, we gonna hit y'all pockets. Do you hear me? Either we can stand together or we can be divided, segregated. And baby, it's not gonna be that nice. And furthermore, us black people, it's time for us to start sticking together. It's time for us to start spending our money with each other anyway. Go on now.
I'm going to say this shit real quick. The federal government is now encouraging segregation. This is another tactic to get us people out there on them streets so they could do what they need to do. I don't think they have learned yet. This fuck around and find out just really has not hit them yet. They don't get it. Black farmers are doing better than white farmers in Nebraska. Why? Because y'all racist and y'all think that we get handouts and we don't, because the black people really know how to fucking do it from the ground up and y'all was the one getting the handouts and y'all ain't getting shit. Segregate this motherfucker. Y'all don't even know how to cook with more than black pepper and motherfucking salt. And y'all barely use that. Segregate this motherfucker because y'all the ones out here wearing bonnets. Segregate this motherfucker because y'all the one that's on this app talking about box braids came from Vikings. Segregate this motherfucker. Y'all the one on here talking about they not like us. Y'all really are not like us. Segregate this motherfucker. Because honestly, we did better when we was by ourselves. Y'all the one that came and fucked up everything when it was segregated. The difference is that back then, we thought we was missing out on something. Y'all know that fucking viral meme of that man talking about, not the meme, the video of the protester from the civil rights movement talking about he sat down and ate that food and he was like, this is what the fuck we was protesting for? Segregate this motherfucker. Y'all want us to rage so fucking bad and we don't care.
She got a key point. Our people had FOMO, fear of missing out. Oh, I want to see what that's about. Same thing with Idlewild. If you know anything about Idlewild, Michigan, if y'all know me, I'm from Michigan. I go to Idlewild for vacations. Idlewild used to be the black Mecca. There would be concerts. There would be people having fun on the water, on jet skis, boats, which is what they do right now. That's the reason I go out there, to get on jet skis and boats. But it was the black Mecca. It was the one location that our people could go to as a resort town or as a getaway. But as segregation ended, then our people kind of abandoned Idlewild, and now it needs some rehab, some rehabilitation. It needs some love. The city a little rundown. The kids that inherited the properties didn't take care of them. People still go hunting up there. They go up there to hunt. And like I said, summertime, get on the water. There was an NFL player that invested into one of the saloons, and he trying to get it back going. It's a lot of opportunity out there, and I feel like this is going to be the wave. It's going to be a wave of people that understand the value of Idlewild and actually start to invest into it and build it back up. But I say that to say, she's right. Our people had FOMO, and then we came to realize, you know what, we wasn't missing out on nothing.
So did you guys see that federal agencies are now bringing back segregation, and that they quietly have undone the law that prohibits certain constitutions and institutions that have goods or services to segregate? While y'all are on here bring back segregation, they already did when they wiped out DEI, but people are sounding the alarm on it because they are instituting it and telling companies to start to do it now. Segregated facilities are no longer explicitly banned in federal contracts, meaning they can do shit like rating rooms for colored onlys and white only gyms. Oh, you don't believe me? Let's read. The segregation clause is one of the several identified in a public memo issued by the General Services Administration just last month, affecting all civil federal agencies. Now, this memo explains it is making changes prompted by President Trump's executive order on diversity, equity, and inclusion, which replaced an executive order signed by President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1965 regarding federal contractors and non-discrimination. Now, a recent notice from the National Institute of Health shows that the change is already in effect. Several federal agencies, including the Department of Defense, Commerce, and Homeland Security, have notified staff who oversee federal contracts that they should start instituting these changes. The changes to the FAR 52-222-21, which is prohibition of segregated facilities, and 26, equal opportunities will not be considered when making award decisions or enforce requirements. Now, the prohibition of segregated facilities, the reason why we don't have to go into establishment and see for colored water fountains fucking only, is because of the Prohibition of Segregated Facilities Act. Contractor has to agree that it does not and will not maintain or provide for its employees any segregated facility at any of its establishments, which explicitly bans the use of segregation in public spaces. And guess what? Trump undid that, and the person who is whistleblowing on this and telling the federal agencies now have to do it doesn't even want to show his face. So while you guys are on here saying dumb shit like we're resting and digesting as black people, they're slightly undoing everything that we worked years for. So yep, I'm gonna go now. Bye.
Breaking news. So Trump is repealing the $17.75 wages for federal contractors down to $7.25. So federal contractors make up about 20% of the U.S. workers. These are the people that build buildings, our infrastructures, everything as such. They're out here in 100-degree weather during the summertime, making our spaghetti junctions and everything like that. Obama raised it to $10, okay? When Biden came in, he raised it to $15 plus your raises, which is up to about $17.75. However, Trump is bringing it back down to $7.25. Now, Trump didn't have an explanation, but critics of Biden's wage mandate, including many business groups, and Republicans have said it made it more difficult for smaller businesses to compete for the contracts, and that the required wage was too high to be applied in areas of the country with lower cost of living. But these are the people who are building our shit. So when I'm driving on the freeway, guess what the fuck I don't want to do? Fall through the fucking bridge. I already have panic attacks going across those long bridges. What I don't want to do is fall down because somebody is making $7.25 to build the shit in 100-degree weather, and they don't give a fuck because they're not being paid. Come on.
Getting a pay reduction is crazy, especially a $10 pay reduction. $7. Back when I had my last job in 2016, I was making $7 and what was it, $7.25 or $7.40 washing dishes. I mean, I was doing more than washing dishes. They had me closing up the whole house. But I was doing that back then in 2016. Now, for a contractor to make that, that's not fair. That's not right. That's not tolerable. They shouldn't tolerate it. But they want the people to rebuttal. They want the people to get mad and start to have an uproar. That's what he really want, and that's what the federal government want. They want the people to do what they did in 2021. They want the people to riot and protest. You know, they made a whole bunch of money off of that. They made a whole lot of money off of that, off of our ignorance, falling for the Black Lives Matter scheme. Sorry, man. I keep it real on this channel. It was a scheme. I saw it from the jump. If you got schemed, that's on you, but don't get schemed this time around. I think our people are a little smarter this time. Knowledge is increasing as well.
The South Carolina State Constitution, adopted in 1895, mandated racial segregation in public schools, stating, "Separate schools shall be provided for children of the white and colored races, and no child of either race shall be permitted to attend a school provided for children of the other race." The federal government didn't intervene to desegregate until 1970. In the South, there was segregation in aspects of all life. There were Jim Crow laws, and there was a thing called separate but equal. As you can see, it took a very long time to overturn these segregation laws. And what's so worrisome about what's going on in the White House is that it took blood, sweat, and tears, and sometimes lives, to get these laws overturned, to get everything desegregated. So to overturn or rescind these laws essentially means that none of these lives matter, that Black lives don't matter, or colored people don't matter. That's what this means. And I don't agree with it.
So did y'all hear that Trump is trying to bring back segregation? They're literally trying to do everything in their power to get Black people to crash the fuck out, but we ain't going. Do you understand? Y'all remember when y'all mama used to whoop y'all and she used to say, "Oh, this gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you." Yeah. This is gonna hurt these YT people that are so hell bent on goddamn being racist more than it's gonna hurt the Black and brown community. You understand? Because do you understand how much money that Black people alone, African American people alone, bring into the economy? Alright. If you didn't, you finna fuck around and find out now. Because he literally is trying to allow federally contracted companies to allow segregated areas. That means places like restaurants, waiting rooms, doctor's offices, shit. It's something simple as a damn water fountain. They literally want us to get out on the street and protest so they can go ahead and roll in this martial law. But we ain't going for that shit. You understand? We are the 92%. Fuck them. We have more important shit to worry about. Martin Luther King literally fucked us up as a community by trying to coexist with these people who never wanted us here in the first place. All they wanted was free labor. All because he wanted to be with a white woman. Be fucking for real. Hey, I say go ahead and segregate this shit. Go ahead and segregate it. Do it. Because all I'm knowing is y'all finna fuck around and find out. That's it. And I feel bad. Nah, hell no. I don't feel bad for the people who be like, y'all know the people that be like, "Oh, if it ain't snowing, it ain't going. I ain't going." Hey, how you gonna feel, bitch? How you gonna feel that you can't be around your precious white woman, huh? I'm just wondering what the repercussions gonna be, what the consequences gonna be when it's actually rolled the fuck out for real. Because it's so many, especially Black men, that's hell bent on being with a white woman. What y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do, baby? Because your ass ain't welcome back over here. And hey, all I'm saying is don't stop at the areas. Everything, segregate everything. You hear me?
Racist people don't really want segregation. Segregation is drawing a line in the sand where Black people live on this side and white people live on that side. They don't want segregation. They want selective segregation, servitude, and unfair treatment. Segregation is what happened to Black Wall Street. See, that's what they don't want. Here's the big difference. Racists want you to live where they put you, and they want you to work towards the advancement of their society over here. So we want you to live here, but work in the coal mines, in the fields, and work in the construction, the hard labor, and then when you get done, leave over where we are and go stay where we told you to stay. And also, we want unfair treatment. Look up to us as we look down on you. But the second we start having our own banks, having our own doctors, having our own farms, letting the money that we create inside our community continue to circulate inside our community and build our own community up, that's an issue. That's why Black Wall Street gets burned down, because what we're doing over here doesn't benefit what they're doing over here. Like, I gotta build my own thing up No, we want people low enough on the totem pole financially and educational wise that we can use them to be the burden bearers of our society. That extends past color. I just wanted to make a video real quick just so all the people on the same page as me understand what I'm about, because I clearly know that the segregation that they're talking about ain't the segregation that we talking about. Leave it in the comments.
Segregation socially and financially. Trump is a classist. So, yeah, I agree with you, my guy. I feel like they're doing that, and they want to do segregation amongst... Yeah, that's really what it is. They want to segregate people, and they kind of already do that anyway right now. It ain't no kinda. I'm saying kinda to be modest. They do this right now. Rent, for instance. You have to earn 3 times the rent. You got to earn 3 times the rent. They know Bebe and Shay Shay from down the block, from the slums, living next to the crackhead and bums. They know they can't afford it out in that suburban area. So that's how they keep them out. They don't make 3 times the income. You see what I'm saying? So this has been a thing. But it coming back to grocery stores and drinking fountains and within the federal workforce, now that's a different story. That's a completely different story, but I'm not going to act like there hasn't been racism going on in the workforce already. I've been hearing about it. Just because I'm not in it don't mean I'm not an observer and I don't see it. You might see the younger guy that's a different color get a raise before the guy who was working hard at that same job and hasn't gotten a raise. And he's been there 10, 15 years. They'll use him, but they won't make him a manager. You see what I'm saying? Things like that.
I need for you to come front and center and please share this video, especially if you're a federal contractor. Clause 52.222-21 of the FAR being the Federal Acquisition Regulation, is titled Prohibition of Segregated Facilities. And what this states is that the contract agrees that it does not and will not maintain or provide for its employees any segregated facilities at any of its establishments, and it does not and will not permit its employees to perform their services at any location under its control where segregated facilities are maintained. And segregated facilities mean like at work areas, restaurants, bathrooms, drinking fountains, transportation, housing. And you cannot segregate it based on race, color, religion, sexual orientation, gender identity, national origin as well. Now, this clause is removed from the FAR. This is a new change due to the Trump regime. So what this heinous government is saying is that this provision, this clause in the FAR will no longer be considered when making award choices or enforce requirements. Now, I think this is very symbolic in nature from Trump's administration, who happens to be an inherently racist administration. And people that are black and brown, I feel like I have to constantly say this, he does not like you. Now, to be clear, these contractors still have to follow federal and state laws, which include Civil Rights Act of 1964. But we already know Trump is actively trying to dismantle that law. When Kamala Harris offered her vision that we're not going back, this is exactly what she was afraid of, that he will bring us back to the 1950s, in which the white people had the power and we were powerless. But they don't know us, right? Because we shall overcome. And once we get over this hump, the MAGAs are not going to like the consequences. I promise you that. You guys have a blessed day.
Just in with some disturbing news from the White House. It looks like Donald Trump is trying to make America great again by bringing back segregation. It is no longer illegal for federal government to segregate contractors in waiting rooms, restaurants, and drinking fountains. It seems like many Americans are having mixed emotions. You have a group of black women who are saying this is not their fight because based on the election results, if you recall, 92% of black women voted against Donald Trump. They say that they tried to warn Americans and they did not listen. But to be clear, black women do not make up the entire America. I'm interested to see, no matter what race you are, how do you feel about this? What do you think? Many younger Americans may be surprised to realize segregation was actually not that long ago. And the executive order that Trump has overturned was from Lyndon B. Johnson in 1965. And to put that in perspective, my parents were about 8 years old when that executive order was signed. There are still state and some federal laws that, protect people from discrimination and segregation, but many fear that the decision that Trump has made will cause a ripple effect. So tell me what you think.
Man, Trump done sat up here and brought back segregation. So he just lifted a ban in federal buildings and facilities, right? The segregation ban, that is. At one point in time, it was a law put into place where segregation in government buildings were illegal, but he just lifted that ban. So he basically just let us know right there that he's bringing segregation back on bathrooms, restaurants, water fountains, jobs, and the type of people to hire. That's the reason why they got rid of DEI. And hell, if you want me to be honest, that don't sound like a bad idea at all. And to be honest, that don't sound like a bad decision at all, to be real. Because y'all have to think about how powerful we are as black folk. We are the biggest spenders in the world. For some odd reason, I don't know why we spend so much money as a collective, but we do. But if they want to bring back segregation, let them. Because we can use that $1.7 trillion towards other black businesses, hospitals, banks, school systems, healthcare, whatever we need. We can do it. Because let's be honest here, y'all remember the last time we did anything like that? Y'all know what happened. So let them. It don't sound like a bad idea anyway. Because let's be honest here, they doing everything they can to get us out in the street to protest on a lot of this stuff that they're doing. And they see that we ain't came outside yet. And we probably ain't coming outside. Like, look at all these big billion-dollar companies that done lost a lot of money the last couple months because we stopped shopping with them. Ever since that stuff started going on, now you see them trying to nitpick, trying to get us outside to do whatever they want to do to plot against us. But I mean, if they want to do that, let them. We ain't biting the bait.
Administration has ordered several changes to the way that the federal government does business. One of them is to remove a decades-old clause from the rules that federal contractors must follow. The clause, which dates back to the 1960s, explicitly banned companies from maintaining segregated facilities. While companies that contract with the federal government still need to comply with current laws that prohibit segregation and discrimination, experts say the removal of this decades-old contract clause is significant. NPR's Selena Simmons-Duffin has this exclusive story.
The change came in a public memo issued last month by the General Services Administration and affects contracts from all agencies of the federal government. In the memo, William Clark, director of the Office of Government-Wide Acquisition Policy, explained that the GSA was prompted by President Trump's executive orders on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and the one about gender identity. It includes a list of 9 clauses to exclude in future contracts. The way the change was made was unusual. Cara Sacalato of the law firm Wiley in Washington, D.C., says normally a panel would come together to propose a rule to implement an executive order.
Send it out for notice and comment, and then parties have a chance to comment on it. Then it is put in a final rule that is then inserted into the FAR.
The FAR stands for...
All right, let me get this right. Are they saying that the usual process to get something like this passed hasn't gone through the usual process anymore? He just out here signing executive orders? Because we know they change rules, they change words down to the definition of words. They change policies. What used to be no longer is. We know the government change as they go. They're changed by the day. They change. We know the government changed like the seasons. They can break the rules, but we can't. So they're saying that Trump is breaking the rules and nobody's saying nothing. They're allowing him to. I don't even see a lot of people talking about this at all. That's why I'm bringing this video to y'all. Share this video out so the world can see it. Because a lot of these things go unnoticed. And then everything just hit the fan and we don't know where it came from. That's why you have to be a watchman. They try to distract us with so much BS so that we lose track of what's going on. So that we don't even know. Especially the black and brown people. We're the furthest behind with this knowledge, with the agendas, the plans. We're the furthest behind. We just focused on BS. We focused on drama, celebrity gossip. We focused on all the wrong things. Change your focus from the wrong things. It's going to come a point in time where it's going to be too late. And you're not going to have an option. That's what they want. They want people to be so distracted to the point they have no option other than comply with whatever it is that the government puts in front of you. UBI, digital ID, mark of the beast system. Stay distracted if you want to. Or you can make the right decisions right now so that your kids and grandkids can thank you later for what you did in 2025, in 2026, 2027, 2028, and 2029. It's not time to be distracted, spending money carelessly. It's not time for none of that. It's time for asset protection, protect our assets, protect everything we built, leverage those assets to get more streams of income. If you do not have any assets, it's time to reduce the amount of liabilities that you purchase this year and purchase some assets. Get you some precious metals. Buy some land. We could keep going down the list. I got a whole checklist for y'all. Matter of fact, if y'all want to see a checklist on how to survive this next 4 year, let me know.
We have some big news right now. Segregated facilities are no longer explicitly banned in federal contracts, according to latest NPR reporting. After a recent change by the Trump administration, the federal government no longer explicitly prohibits contractors from having segregated restaurants, waiting rooms, and drinking fountains. According to NPR, this segregation clause is one of several identified in a public memo issued by the GSA last month, affecting all civil federal agencies. Now, according to legal experts, this is a symbolic move, but it is still incredibly meaningful in its symbolism. There are still state and federal laws that outlaw segregation and discrimination that companies across the board need to comply with, and legal experts say that this change to contracts across the federal government is significant nonetheless, because these provisions required federal contractors to adhere to and comply with federal civil rights laws, and well, now they don't have to in this symbolic move. I'll do a full breakdown of whether or not this is legal on my Substack shortly, so be sure to subscribe for free at the link in my bio and follow along for all the news you need to know about. More to come.
Y'all see it now. I get it. I love that more and more people are talking about this. More and more people are seeing the same routine happen with this administration. It never fails. Every time their backs are against the wall, every time they're in a position where they are clearly losing favor, specifically with their voting base, they start trying to bait black people. Be honest with me, Republican voters. Be honest, MAGA. Is this a part of your vision? For all of you who kept saying over and over, we don't see color, we are not the ones who are perpetuating all of the racism. It's the people on the left. This idea that they want to bring back Jim Crow laws or segregate anything is all hyperbole. You guys are overreacting. How does this make you feel? I want to know. How do you feel? They are saying that federal contractors will no longer be penalized if they have segregated facilities. Are you going to express concern? Are you going to ask any type of follow-up questions, or are you going to move the goalpost on this one as well? Are you going to say, no, segregated facilities are something we've always wanted? What about the Blacks for Trump? What about y'all? All of y'all saying Trump has never been racist towards black people whatsoever. How are y'all gonna feel about this? Oh wait, let me guess. Y'all thought them colored bathrooms was better, right? Y'all thought it was more masculine or better for our community to have our own bathrooms. Because I'm sure that's something that y'all are gonna try to say when this question comes to your front door as well. Like I've said, this is an obsession. They really would like to see our participation in everything that's going on. We not going for it.
So number 47 is making segregation for federal contractors legal. And hopefully you guys know that this is bait. They want us to be mad and upset. They want to get us worked up. He is definitely trying to put us in situations where we may have to actually show out. He's definitely reaching and trying. For some strange reason, this man cannot get us out of his mind. He goes to sleep thinking about us and wakes up thinking about us. Does this man ever sleep? Trying to do everything he can to get us out in those streets.
Tell him, Auntie, I said the same thing. They want to get a reaction out of us. So bad. We as the people got the real power. That's what we got to grow to understand. We got the real power. Their job is to make us react negatively. Realistically, the government, their job is to make us mad at this point. Just make the people mad. You got one agenda. Make the people as mad as you can and reverse all of the policies that were in place before. That's what it seemed like. The government never been for the people. I don't even understand why people are still voting when you know that, especially if you're black and brown. You talking about the same people that enslaved our ancestors? You talking about the same people? We could go on and on and on, man, but let's just leave it there. The same people that enslaved our ancestors. You think they care about you? You think they care about me? They don't really care about us. They never did. Michael Jackson told you that. Tupac told you that. They never did. They was talking about the forces that be. The forces that be, the government. Let me know what y'all think about this one, family. Do y'all think that the segregation will only affect federal contractors? Or do you think this thing gonna run rampant? And it's gonna be back like back in the day. You can't drink out of this drinking fountain. You can't eat at this restaurant. You can't go to this school. Because this could be stepping stones towards that. What do y'all think? This is just the beginning, y'all. We only in March. Drop a comment below. Let me know. Appreciate y'all, family. It's your brother YT. Peace. Shalom.